Hey, welcome to episode 132 of This Week in Marketing. This is your host Shazid Islam, and today I'll be going over the notable news and updates in the digital marketing space from the week of October 24th to 28th, 2022. First off, we are going to start off with TikTok today. TikTok has published a 17-page 2022 holiday marketing guide, which provides an overview of key engagement stats around seasonal events, insights into when critical engagement points occur within each relevant period, checklists for planning, explainers, and other stuff. You can download the TikTok's full 2022 holiday guide from the show notes page. The link is going to be there. Go ahead and check it out. Next up, TikTok has launched what they're calling it the TikTok Academy. It's an education platform for marketers similar to what Meta, aka Facebook, has the Blueprint courses. Twitter has Flight School, and now TikTok has TikTok Academy. This will provide free courses on how to make the best use of TikTok for marketing, along with research data, other information to expand your understanding of the app. The link to the TikTok Academy is also in our show notes page. Check it out if you want to get more information. Next up, this is that time of the year, which is the quarterly earnings report. Last week, we shared quarterly earnings. This week, we actually have earnings report from 3 platforms. They are going to be Pinterest, Microsoft, Google, Facebook. So it's 4. So first off, let's jump into Pinterest. Pinterest's quarter earnings reports look better than what it was last quarter. They have earned about $685 million in Q3 2022. It's an 8% year-over-year growth. They have added 12 million more active users. Now, listen, I'm not giving you the numbers so that it goes over your head and to say who made how much money, but the numbers actually show where the platform is heading and what's really happening within the platform. Right. So I'm basically quickly covering it to give you the why behind the number. So it seems like, Pinterest added 12 million users. 3 of those 12 are in the US. So it's quite a good growth. Remember back when we were in lockdown mode during COVID, Pinterest really skyrocketed. And then as the lockdown was lifted, Pinterest took the user and revenue took a dive. And now it's going back to the COVID levels, so which is a good sign, shows that people are coming back to Pinterest, and this is the holiday season, and they've added 3 million users. And if you followed the show 131, which was last week, I believe it was Snapchat, and Snapchat makes more money from the users in the US than they do it from the rest of the world or India. Okay, same thing happening at Pinterest. So what this is I'm telling you about is that if you are an e-com direct to consumer, if you're not already on Pinterest, go ahead and use Pinterest. Especially what's happening is video is taking off on Pinterest, right? And that's something we've seen in Facebook, and I'm going to cover the Facebook, Instagram results. We've seen it in TikTok, and we've seen it in YouTube. So video is taking off, short form video, and that's where Pinterest is saying their engagement with video has gone up by 3 times year over year. Next up, excuse me. Next up, we have Microsoft's Q1 23. Hang on a second now. You're going to say, Sajid, you just said this we are in 2022. You just covered Pinterest Q3. Then where the hell did this Q1 23 come from for Microsoft? Well, Microsoft reports their numbers are differently. Their quarters are set differently. Their year starts differently. Now, as you can imagine, we are covering Microsoft's Q1 23. Basically means next quarter we're going to cover Q2 of 23. Just Microsoft's the way the corporate was structured and done. Okay. It's still the same period, which is going to be July through August, September. Basically, what we take away from that is that Microsoft made a lot of money, especially in LinkedIn. LinkedIn's have 17% more revenue. Search and news revenue was up by 16%. LinkedIn has about 150 million subscriptions, so a lot of users are coming back to LinkedIn, and I can attest to that because I see a lot of activity. We ourselves are publishing a lot more on LinkedIn than we do on Instagram. It's just that easier. It's kind of like going back to the Facebook days. It's just that Facebook has become such a pain for us to publish. I don't even know how to use Facebook page anymore, to be honest. LinkedIn is easier. It's just I hope they don't make it so complicated like Facebook, where I don't even know. They keep rolling out Facebook page experience updates and things like that. I just want to publish something and follow a page. How difficult is that? Or maybe I'm not smart enough. Either or. Okay. Having said that, that's all there is to know about Microsoft earnings. Microsoft, keep an eye out. Microsoft is gonna take off next quarter, is because they're partnering. They're becoming Netflix's ad revenue ad partner. Microsoft ad is the one that's gonna run on Netflix ads. So that's gonna start next month and it's gonna take off. Keep that in mind. Going from Microsoft into Google, Google took a beating this week just because their earnings numbers didn't come in the way that Wall Street expected, and actually there is a reason. It seems like this was the worse. This was one of the bad earnings report in the last 10 years for Google. They lost about $600 million in YouTube. So basically their earnings was about 69.1 billion with a B this quarter. Which is a pretty big number, 6% year-over-year growth, but YouTube earnings was down 2%, which is about $600 million or so dollars, 7.07 billion versus 7.21. Now you could say, hey, Sajid, that's just, it's still 7 range billions and things like that, but this signals a lot of changes that's coming in the economy. Advertisers pulling back on ad spending, inflation, competition and things like that. That's why one of the things analysts are concerned that YouTube could not make keep the strong growth as they've been seeing. Now, having said that, search revenue did grow. It grew by 4% to $39.5 billion with a B. That's still a big numbers, but however, the Wall Street was expecting 41 billion, right? So that's a difference of about 0.5. That's 41.5 billion. But the CFO also says, look, it was modest growth, and it's a difficult to compare 2022 with 2021, just because 2021 was such a strong growth. Of course, right. We all know it. 2022 has been a challenge. Now, what this means for us, the advertisers and the market here, is expect more. I would say expect more changes from Google, where they can take more of our money with a lot of other things. They're gonna open up a lot more other inventories. Again, if they open up more inventories, they have more chance to make revenues, and you're gonna see some of the new stuff that are coming out in this episode, and you'll see what I mean by about it. That's gonna continue to happen, which is Google is gonna have to make a way to make more money, and one of those victims or side effects are gonna be us, the business owners, marketeers, are gonna end up paying for that by good and bad, up to you, depending on how you use it. Okay. Next up, Facebook / aka Meta's earnings. Meta, basically their number of daily active users have gone up, but their revenue has declined 4%. And I think they're still facing the effects of Apple's ATT tracking program, Apple's privacy program, ATT, that was rolled out in iOS 14, even though iOS 4.16 was launched this week or last week. So what this basically means that it's been almost 2.5 years or 2 years or 1.5 years, and Facebook is still not recovering from that. People are coming back into Facebook mainly because of Reels. That's the thing, but they still face if they compare Instagram Reels with TikTok, Instagram's users are using about 17.6 million hours a day, whereas TikTok has now 197 million hours per day. Right? Yeah, that's per day. That's how they're aggregating the numbers. Obviously, that's something that was a report that was leaked out to Wall Street Journal, and Wall Street Journal covered that, but we don't really have the specifics on that. But what I'm going to say is that, and Facebook is also focusing on metaverse, so that makes a big difference. But what this means is that Facebook is a platform, it's still a dominant platform. They're very close to 3 billion users a month. 2.96. How many of that is fake, I do not know. So is TikTok. TikTok has fakes, YouTube has fakes, Google has fakes, but Facebook is still a dominant platform. So if you can make your ads work on Facebook, by all means stay in the game. If your ad account is not banned, or if all those things don't happen, that's good. But if not, focus on other platforms. There are greener pastures. Okay, talking about Instagram announces new live event campaign series to assist with holiday campaigns, similar to what I covered about TikTok. However, with Instagrams, you have to follow at Instagram for business account. It's all word at Instagram for FOR business. It's all one word account, and they're gonna be going on from November 1 through 3. They're gonna have multiple people. It's gonna be streamed live, and obviously, if you follow that account, it's gonna be there. They're gonna keep it there. You can go check it out. How useful that is, I do not know. I really, if it's any useful, if something new happens, I will go ahead and bring it over to this podcast. But at this point, I think you have other better things to focus on than to go check out a live event, or maybe download the video and watch it at 1.5 speed, which is exactly what I do all the time. Okay, Google has launched this tool called Trim Videos for YouTube. YouTube to launch bumper video ads on obviously YouTube. What this does is you give it a link to one of your video, and it's going to take it and create a 6-second clip, and it will create multiple versions of it, and you decide which one to use for your video campaign. That's all, right? You can compare contrast, but I think I like this tool in a way that if you have a large video, you do not know which to do, you could just say, you know what, I don't want to go to a videographer. Let's just see what automatically does. It gives you 6 options, 6 varieties, and you can see what it is and run your ads. It's a quick, easy way to create smaller videos and run ads. Next up, Google added 5 features to Performance Max campaigns. One is Performance Planner. Again, Performance Planner is a tool that lets you create plans for your advertising spend and assess how changes to campaigns might affect key metrics and overall performance. And from there, you can go take it, import it into Performance Max campaigns. They also announced asset group scheduling, which you can add automated rules, which will allow you to schedule assets groups so that they can be paused and enabled as needed. With scheduling, you can turn ads at specific times of the day, create and run asset groups ahead of time, right? Again, you could do that previously at a campaign level. Now they're taking it to the asset group level. Also, Performance Max, you can have now up to 15 headlines. Previously, it used to be 5. Right, Google is saying, hey, if you have 15, we can do mix and match, machine modeling, and things is going to help you find more, better results. However, keep in mind, and this is what I'm saying, if your budget is low and if you have 15 ads, you will not get the data, right? So make sure you have large enough budget to test this out. Just don't go, if you're spending like say $30 a day and $30 gives you 2 clicks and you have 15 headlines, guess what, guys? You are never going to get to that point. And this is one of the reasons why, the RSA ads are not good, because they expanded tech stacks. The ETAs were better. And this is what I mean by Google have to make money, and they're giving out all these options to you. Now a lot of unsuspecting or people are going to go ahead and use this, not realizing like, hey, shit, I didn't know that, right? I'm only spending $50, $60 a day. I don't have enough firepower to test out all this model, and now it's going to take me 6 months of data, and by 6 months I'm lost a lot of money and I don't have anything. So play with it with caution. Anyway, next up, in the same category, we have performance explanations that can help you identify what's driving performance fluctuations, diagnose issues, viewpoints, recommendations. Again, it's geared towards more of those, small business owners who are trying to do ads by themselves, do not know. It's kind of helpful. I haven't checked it out, but at the same time, I really hope if you're spending any money on Google beyond $500 a day, $500 a month, I take it back, sorry, $500 or more than $500 a month, you should get a professional or get some professional advice for your own good. Lastly, they have Insights page, and the Insights page helps you identify trends in your market, understand performance. Now they allow you to use, a first-party data allow you to create first-party data segments in your insights from your Insights page, and to help you understand, the value of your customer list, and see which customers are converting the best. Okay. Next up, we have music genres for YouTube ads placements, right? Again, Google is opening up new type of inventory, which is a new placement options for video ads that allow advertisers to target specific types of music on YouTube. So now you could just say, hey, play my ad on people who are listening to romantic music, people who are listening to chill music. Maybe people who are listening to chill music are usually at work. or chilling, and maybe you want to run your ads at that time, or people who are running funky moods, downbeats, and the list goes on. And the list is, there are 5 different categories with 20 different countries that you can actually use it to kind of find they're helping you to group users based on what type of music they're listening and then play your ads. Next up, Google's official stance on sort of stock photography. This is John Mueller and Lizzie Sassman, both from Google, talking about it on the podcast. And they're saying, look, at the end of the day, if you're using stock photos, that's fine. Stock photos are used to spice up your blog, spice up your content, because, or else it's going to get dry and boring. But don't expect your stock images to rank on Google image search. Well, obviously it goes without saying, number one. Number two, which they did not cover and I'm going to add, is like, make sure you use your image structured data. And there is a good chance that you're going to get even if your image doesn't get shown up an image search, you will at least have rich text result and rich search result, right? These are such a alphabet soup with all this stuff that's going on. Sometimes I misspeak and mispronounce, but anyway, so go ahead and do that. And again, stock photos, if 30 sites have the same image, obviously you'd know that Google is not going to show it. So even if you use stock photo, make sure you kind of put some logos, change some things around, put some text around it, but not too much text, and make it yours, and there's a higher chance that your image is going to show up. Okay. By the way, last week we covered about the Google's October 2022 spam algorithm update that was launched last week. That update rollout has completed. So if you were tracking it, now you know that it's been completed, and you can kind of go check your search console and see if you're affected or not. Also, Google said this week, look, just because a human is writing a content doesn't mean it's going to be helpful or useful, right? It goes without saying, but I think John Mueller had to come out and say it because someone asked this question, like, hey, we know, and even in this part we covered, like, do not use AI-based content. But John is saying, even if a human writes it, make sure it's really good, it's informative, it's useful, or else, we won't rank it, period. And Google also clarified, well, John Mueller from Google also clarified that they no longer use the page speed algorithm. They're using page experience update algorithm, right? What this basically means that if you're focusing on SEO, page speed was back in the day when internet was slow, and they used to calculate how fast your page loads. Right. Now they're more focused on page experience, but I think they also take into account your page speed in there. So page speed is gone, page experience is in. Page experience kind of encompasses a lot of other things, first input delay, all the other stuff. There's a blog on our website about it. If you're interested, put a comment down or reach out to us and I will give you that blog and you can read all about it. Next up, Google also said link wheels are against Google's guidelines, so make sure you don't use it. Link wheels are basically some people's effort to scam Google, which is like, hey, I have my website Market and Grow, and I know I don't get a lot of visitors, so I'm going to put a link to another of my website called AWSM Digital. From AWSM Digital is going to go to another website called xyz.com, and now xyz.com is going to come back to my website, and it's going to make me look, I'm an authoritative website and things like that. Google is saying, look, dude, don't try doing that, right? It's illegal. If we find it, we are going to penalize you. We are going to be screwed. Don't do that. So if you have any SEO person suggesting that you should do a link wheel, stay away from them. Lastly, for this week, there are 2 new features in GA4 that you should know about. The third one that I don't really want to cover about it is Google has extended the deadline for Google Analytics 360. This is the enterprise paid version of Google Analytics. Obviously, they said, initially, we all know that GA4 is coming in July 1st, 2023. But for people who are on the paid version, they're getting extra 6 months. But that doesn't, matter to us because we are all using the free version. So the 2 features in this GA4 versions are behavior modeling with real-time reporting that will give advertisers a complete picture of user behavior as it happens, right? Behavior modeling uses machine learning to fill in the gaps of your understanding of customer behavior when a cookie and other identifiers are not available. Real-time updates will be available in the near future to give advertiser a complete view of the customer journey as is happening. It just kind of helps you see, okay, there is a user on my website, they're moving around and this is what they're doing. And the second thing they introduced was data-driven attribution. So in data-driven attribution was already there. They are launching custom channel grouping, a feature that allows advertisers to combine different channels to compare cost per acquisition and return on ad spend based on data-driven attribution. Like for example, businesses will be able to compare the performance of their paid search brand with the non-brand campaigns and see which one is doing better, which one has a better ROI, return on ad spend, and so forth. Okay. So folks, that's it for this week in marketing. Now you know everything to be in the know. This is your host Aziz Islam signing off. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.